Yes, that's right. If it's Sunday afternoon, then it can only mean one thing, and that is that it's time for Show Us Your Cat on Joyrider TV. So we're diving straight in. We are on board currently with Bill and Chris on their Prindle 19 during the Milt Ingram race from Ventura, California, sailing out of Pier Point Yacht Club. This looks like an absolutely stunning bit of sailing that these guys have been having. This Milt Ingram race is a 42 nautical mile race around Nacra Island and an oil platform. Most of the boats participating were yachts and keel boats, but there was a very good beach catamaran class. Now this green Prindle 19 we can see having a pop here. Unfortunately for Bill and Chris, yes, they did get the better of them, which put Bill and Chris into third place in the beach cat class. And they finished this race in 4 hours and 53 minutes. Great job there, guys. That really does look like a great day out. Yes, that's right, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV, back with some more Show Us Your Cat. Oh yes, of course, Show Us Your Cat is where we're going to be taking a look at your boats and where it is that you sail them. And yes, we have got some absolute corkers to look at this week. Do stay tuned right until the end, because we're saving the best till last today. Oh yes, we are, with something you will not be expecting. Oh yes. Okay, let's take a look at our first boat on Show Us Your Cat for this week. We are heading to the Lagos Yacht Club in Nigeria, where we have Liam. Liam is just 15 years old and he's already been doing some absolutely great catamaran sailing. He sails this Hobie 16 along with his amazing sister Mackenzie. The name of the boat is Quicksilver. He started helming about a year ago and he's self-taught. Now, after purchasing the boat, he sailed it for about a year, getting more comfortable with the boat, until disaster struck and the hull actually snapped in half. Now, this is a cautionary tale. The reason that the hull would have snapped in half is because the foredeck part of the boat will have popped off. So if you sail a boat which has a separate deck and sides of the hulls, check the joint periodically between the deck and the sides of the hulls. And if the deck comes off, you lose all of your structural stability, and this kind of thing could, in a worst case scenario, be on the cards. But thankfully it was possible for Liam to have this hull repaired, and since then Liam and Mackenzie have won the Nigerian Bottling Company's annual regatta by winning all 3 races. So thanks very much Liam and Mackenzie for showing us your great looking 16, and oh my goodness, do those sails look sweet or what. Keep up the good sailing, and we look forward to seeing how you're going to be getting on with your 16 in the future. So next we're going to take a look at somewhat of a rarity. This has been sent in by Jonathan. This is a Dingo cat from the 1970s. The Dingo is a really great historical piece. Originally produced in the USA from the mid-1960s. She measures in at 15 feet long, 2 meters 30 wide, a little bit narrower than a Hobie 16 of course, 11.6 meters on the mainsail. It's mainsail only on this boat. And here's a picture that I found on the internet of a rigged one. Now Jonathan has upgraded to a hobiecat rudder system, which as we know is very reliable and is going to work very well. She certainly looks like she'd be a lot of fun to get out on. Great job there, Jonathan, picking up that bad boy. Hope you have some great times with that boat. At this stage in the game, I have been joined by Joe from Joyrider TV in Studio 2 here, who would just like to say a few things. Yes, thanks very much, Joe. Yeah, and I'd just like to start off by saying a big thank you to everybody who has been supporting Joyrider TV especially those who have been supporting the channel either through Patreon or through channel memberships. To be honest, if it hadn't been for everybody supporting the channel, I would have probably stopped making the videos by now, so thanks very much. So we're next going to head to Chesapeake Bay near Baltimore, Maryland, USA, to the Rockley Point Park, where we have Matthew. Matthew has this yellow 1984 Hobie 16. It's named Catapult. It has the original 1984 Nationals Sunburst sails. He's owned this boat for just one season and can safely say that he loves it. Oh yes. Although still new to sailing and learning the finer points, he can't get enough of it. Whenever he can, he gets out on the water. This is what we like to hear. He didn't know much about how to sail before last year, but he knew he was always interested. Last year, a friend was selling a Hobie 14 Turbo, and Matthew finally took the plunge and bought it. Here is that Turbo on the beach next to Matthew's Hobie 16. Since he basically knew nothing about sailing, he's proud to say that he is a graduate of the Joyrider TV Sailing Academy after learning how to sail almost exclusively from the videos on Joyrider TV. So after sailing the 14 Turbo for some time, he realised he wanted a larger and more stable catamaran. So he sold the 14 and then bought the Hobie 16 Catapult the next week. The 16 was in good shape, but it had no trapeze rigging, and all of the original 1984 components needed upgrading. So he upgraded to a new 6-to-1 main sheet system. He created this great workaround for the downhaul to make a 6-to-1 downhaul system without the need for a cleat on the bottom block. Great job there. He upgraded the jib traveller control system, swivel cleats on the traveller cars, control lines, shock cord system using the original beam mounted swivel cleats. He's installed helm and crew trapeze rigging, added the second chain plate to the forestay to allow more mast rake on the boat, installed a masthead float, anti-pitch pole plates, stripped old faded hull stickers and added custom-made new hull stripes which replicate the original 1984 stickers, a complete wet sanding and polishing of each hull, and then some 3M rubber grip pads for trapezing. And what a great job Matthew has done there. Here's Matt checking out the trapeze gear on land. Now if you own a boat, you have done this. You've gone trapezing on your boat on land. Put it in the comments if you haven't, because I don't believe you. After lots of tuning, trial and error, the boat sails very nicely. And although Matthew generally sails solo, his wife Crystal comes out whenever she can. While she's not as much of a thrill seeker, she loves cruising on the boat and does a great job running the jib and the travellers. Matthew mostly prefers sailing for speed runs or thrill seeking or skills practice, but there are plenty of places to go in Chesapeake Bay. Hart Miller Island is only about 1 mile offshore and has a very nice sandy beach where they pull the boat up and enjoy some downtime. Additionally, there are lots of coves and sheltered islands where you can heave to and go for a swim. Matthew's 2 sailing goals are to sail all the way across the bay, which is about 15 miles, and to finally break through that 20 knot barrier of boat speed. He'd like to know if you are in the Baltimore area and you're into a bit of sailing and you want to come cat sailing with Matthew, he would love to have another person on the boat when the wind is up to see if they could go a bit faster. So if you're in Baltimore, put it in the comments below and Matthew will get in touch. Next, we are heading to Bavaria in Germany, where we have Michael and Arnold and Hanno Michael and the guys sailed this 1985 Hobie 16 called White Rainbow. He bought the boat 4 years ago from a Colombian photographer. The boat had been stored for the previous 30 years in a barn. It was in very good condition and with lots of new parts, but it had some damage to both hulls which needed repairing. Michael picked up the boat for just 1,800 euros, and check out that red trampoline. That is actually the original 1985 trampoline. Amazing. What a find. Michael has made the following improvements to the boat. He's found a set of Hobie carbon rudders, very rare. He had to get those from Holland, but I think you'll agree they look amazing. He put a spinnaker kit on the boat. He's done a complete renovation of the hulls, 14 days of work, and they recoloured the boat using International Snow White. And he says they had fantastic support from International Paint. Very nice. And then the most significant upgrade, and here it is, Chip from Whirlwind Sails has only gone and done it and made this set of black Hobie 16 X2 square head sails. Black Dacron from San Diego, oh yes. From the first tests, the guys say they are absolutely brilliant. More power, more speed and more control in the gusts. And I think you'll agree, they look absolutely stunning. Very nice. Great job there, Chip. But the project is not over. What Michael still has in mind is to put some rubber grip, the soft stuff like we have here, on the hulls and on the sidebars, making it much more comfortable. And then, now I don't know how this is going to work out, he says maybe a carbon mast. We would love to see that if it comes off. So thanks very much to Michael, Arnaud and Hanno for showing us White Rainbow, the Hobie 16. She is looking very nice indeed. As promised, we have got something very special for you now. We are heading to St Catherine's Multi-Hull Club, Ontario, Canada. Yes, we have been there before. And yes, we're going to have a look at Vic's latest project. It's called the Baby Getaway, which is originally a Hobie Wave. The boat was completely tired and stripped down to just the hulls. And then Vic started the restoration process. He got for the boat a new trampoline, a new mast, new rigging, new rudders. He got a tiller crossbar and a front bar, new sails that Vic actually made himself. And then, this is the best bit, the wings to make this Hobie Wave into a mini getaway. Now I think you'll agree, this is one of the coolest things well, I've seen on Show Us Your Cat. Great job there, Vic. He's also restored this Hobie 14 and turned it into a power cat. Now, before you start with, oh, that's such a shame that it's not a sailing boat anymore, if Vic hadn't done this to the boat, it would have probably been destined for the bin. So very nice job there, Vic, and thanks very much for sharing those boats with us for this week's Show Us Your Cat. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon with some more on Joyrider TV.